Hey guys, welcome back to Trek on the Tube. I know you weren't expecting to see me back so soon, and I usually don't talk about every rumor that goes around, but this is pretty important. Tarantino is maybe directing a Star Trek film. Okay, so the reason why I'm doing this video is because in the past few days there's been a lot of speculation, a lot of rumors, and a lot of clickbait articles. All of this makes the whole situation somewhat confusing. I mean, at times it's hard to figure out what's true and what's not. So I thought it would be best if we went over the actual timeline of events that brought us to now. Let's get into it. Sweet and simple, nice and short. This all began 2 years ago, on December 18th, 2015, when Tarantino was invited onto the Nerdist podcast, episode 774. I will leave the link to the full episode in the description if you want to check that out. If you only want to hear about the Star Trek part, then I suggest you skip ahead to an hour and about 7 minutes. Essentially, Tarantino talks about how he would much rather make a Star Trek film than a Star Wars film. He talks about how the original series is his favorite, and more specifically how William Shatner is his entry point into the franchise. He even name drops the classic episode City on the Edge of Forever. He then talks about how he also enjoys The Next Generation and praises the episode Yesterday's Enterprise. He explains that in his mind, those two episodes could translate into awesome movies. He then proceeds to awkwardly recap Yesterday's Enterprise, and that's pretty much how the podcast ends. As you can see, back in 2015, it was just ideas being tossed around. Fast forward all the way to September 2017, that snippet of Tarantino talking Trek was uploaded to YouTube and generated about 200,000 views. I don't know whether this is related or not, but 4 months later on December 4th, 2017, Deadline drops an exclusive saying, and I quote, "Sources said that Tarantino has come up with a great idea for a Star Trek movie at Paramount. After sharing his idea with J.J. Abrams, I've heard the plan is to assemble a writer's room of scribes who'll hear Tarantino's take and begin to put together a movie. If it all works out, Tarantino might direct it, with Abrams producing." At this point, it was all speculation and rumor. To be honest, I didn't take it very seriously. I mean, I have trouble believing articles that say sources said or I've heard. But the entire internet seemed to disagree because everyone went absolutely crazy about this. Everyone thought it was confirmed that Tarantino was making the next Star Trek film. Of course, as if to prove my skepticism wrong, 3 days later Deadline released another exclusive stating Kelvin Timeline Star Trek producer J.J. Abrams had a long chat with Tarantino collaborating writers. Also, Tarantino, known for directing somewhat violent movies, laid down one condition. The movie was to be R-rated. Here's where it gets interesting. Paramount agreed. I mean, why not? Logan and Deadpool have proven that R-rated films can be huge box office successes, so there's no reason why Star Trek couldn't. It's just an odd fit for Star Trek. At this point, saying the movie is confirmed might be premature. A lot of Star Trek fans simply believe this won't happen. Personally, with the way things are moving right now, I feel like this has already been greenlit. My question is, though, will Tarantino be making the next Star Trek Kelvin Timeline film? Technically Star Trek 4 or 14, however you want to call it, or will he be working on another Star Trek film entirely? Now that you have the full story, what do you think? Are you happy? Are you unhappy? How do you feel about Star Trek being R-rated? Do you even think this will happen? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe, and live long and prosper, motherfucker.